Hello, this is Kathy with Duality Unfolding. Welcome back to my channel. So today I have a past, present, future love reading for the singles. So if you are not single or you're not looking for love, then this reading is not going to be helpful for you. So I've got three options here for you to choose from, and we're going to look at a couple cards for your past love situation, current love situation, and future love situation for people that are single. So, whatever you define as single, this reading is for you. So, group number one, your choosing card is Lepidolite, and the message or the metaphysical properties associated with Lepidolite are rest, sleep, and dreaming. There's a little fact at the bottom. Group number two, your choosing card is Morganite, compassion, renewal, and love. And group number three, your choosing card is Iolite, and the message is navigation, wisdom, and communication. So take all the time that you need. Timestamps are below, and I will see you in the readings. Hello, group number one. So if you chose this Lepidolite crystal for your choosing card, this is your reading. So let's take a look at I've got two oracle cards for encouraging messages for singles at the end. And then I've got tarot and oracle cards for past, present, and future. So, shaking everything. So let's look at your past love message. Okay. So we have this King of Coins in reverse. Oh my gosh, look at this little guy. He is a little bit grumpy. Which is so adorable. Like Grumpy Bunny, come on. So King of Pentacles in reverse. And then the oracle message for your past love situation was peace. Peace and contentment are coming to you. So with this King of Pentacles is typically someone that wants to like provide. They're really good with money. They're really good with provisions like time, energy, money. They're very... they value security a lot in the reverse, and even with this little image in the upright, in the reverse I'm getting somebody that kind of has a not great, I don't know how to say it, like I feel like this person from your past was kind of a miser, which I feel like makes me sound like somebody's grandma to use that word. But like a miser, if you don't know what that is really like kind of if you think of like Ebenezer Scrooge from the Christmas Carol, where he was really greedy and he kept all his money to himself, and like he did not understand the value of like sharing. He didn't care about people that needed things. He didn't care that he had money to help other people. Like his money was his, and it was just like this energy of like, I have to hold on to everything. And so this could have been somebody that like wasn't very generous with their time, energy, or money in the relationship. And so for some of you, it feels like they didn't value you. And that has nothing to do with you. I feel like it really has to do with them, that like they hadn't learned the lesson of like how to value themselves, so they don't value anybody. I got this message that like nothing means anything to them, if that makes sense. Like this is a really kind of hard energy. It feels like there's someone that like was or is like kind of pessimistic. Like they might have been hurt a lot in their past and you don't know about it, or maybe you do, but they really like held on to that hurt, right? So they're not open to seeing any like good things coming towards them. Like even the good things that do come towards them, they receive it really skeptically. Like with this little bunny, like looking at this crown, like it's just looking at it like, well, what is this stupid thing? And it's like, well, you're a king and a king has a crown. And it's like, right, but this is dumb. What is this? This doesn't make any sense. So it's like this really strange, like rejecting energy. And it feels like the draw with this person for you was that like you know that you're very loving and empathetic and like tender and kind and soft, and there was a part of you that felt like I can love them, I can heal them, right? Or if they just were loved the right way, they would be a happier person. And like, because this is in your past, like you're not connected to this person. This is someone that like, it doesn't feel like a recent breakup. Like this feels like something that's kind of in your long past. So maybe like, I would say like more than like 6 months ago, maybe even more than like a year or 2 years ago. Like you have so much peace now that this energy isn't in your life, and that like it took you a while to learn that the way they treated you was not a reflection of you. The way that they treated you was a reflection of how they felt about themselves. Yeah, and that this person like doesn't, they were never willing to like do the work. They were never willing to open up. They were never really willing to like look at some of the pain that they were carrying. Like it was just kind of like, I'm just hearing again, like nothing matters. Like it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if I work on my issues. It doesn't matter if I figure out why I'm mad. It doesn't matter if I stop being angry. It doesn't matter. Nothing matters. And so it's very much this like almost like a nihilistic energy that like, oof, there's a lot of comfort in the pain and suffering because that's what's familiar. This person doesn't want to, they didn't want to, they don't want to suffer, but they're just so familiar being in that miserable energy that like it hasn't even dawned on them that they can change. Like they've just accepted like this is reality, and that like people that are happy or people that have connections, like they're idiots. Like this verse is just like really negative. And like I said, I feel like it's because they've really been like wounded and just held on to the wound. So it's almost like, to me, it looks like somebody that stepped, this is really graphic, so I apologize. It looks like somebody that stepped in a bear trap and they just have kept walking. And they're like, well, just bleeding everywhere. Eventually this foot will fall off, but I got things to do. I got places to go. And so, the thing that comes to mind is that like we can't help people that can't help themselves, right? Or that won't help themselves. So this was something that was in your past, but because you've left it, there's so much peace and contentment that you have found. Like the longer the time distance is between you and this relationship, the more peace and contentment that you have found in your life and in yourself. And I feel like this was a really big learning lesson for you. Like it taught you a lot of things about yourself that you understand were learned through going through this experience. Like in your mind, you don't really know how else you could have learned this, but this isn't what you would choose, right? You would not have chosen to learn like your self-value. You would not have chosen to learn like self-acceptance and like contentment with your life, and like peace. You wouldn't have chosen to learn the lesson this way, but like you can see how valuable the lesson was. But I'm getting very much like, let's not do that again. So I get that. So let's look at your present situation. Okay, whoa. So we have this Seven of Swords in reverse, and then we've got engagement ring. So engagement, partnership, commitment, eternity, completion, union. What I feel like is that okay, this, I'm gonna try to say this as gently as I can. So if you think I'm a big mean jerk, then you leave me a comment and I will totally understand. Because I feel like this is a hard truth that it feels like you want more than anything to find someone that like wants to get engaged, like wants to be in a committed partnership, that like wants union, like, and you want that like now. You want it right now. And the Seven of Swords, when we look at it in the upright, this is someone stealing something, right? And so you're not trying to steal anything. In the reverse, like, well, the things we do in the dark always find the light, right? And so this card in the upright is just saying like if you're doing dirty, or if you're doing dirt, if you're doing things you're not supposed to be doing, that you know you're not supposed to be doing, like people are gonna find out. In the reverse, it feels like you you have an idea of what you want in love, but you haven't taken the time to analyze why you want it. And so it almost feels like you're hiding something from yourself, right? That you're like there's this the part of you that is like so desperate, and I understand that is like a really loaded word, that's so desperate to get engaged, get married, have this big fancy wedding, be seen as like someone that is married, that's been chosen. This energy is, it's almost like this like sneaky part of you that is from, it's not sneaky, it's a part of you that has become, it's been there so long that you don't look at it anymore. And so, okay, let me explain it because I feel like this is getting confusing. So, you know how there's like kind of the, like, I don't know, like internet joke about like how the treadmill in someone's bedroom or the chair in someone's bedroom is like the best clothes hanger, and that like we all have those things in our house where like we kind of, I don't know, like maybe I have like a pile of mail, like paperwork that I need to sort. And whenever I have like the heat or the AC on, like where I have the pile of papers in my kitchen, like it blows them off the counter. So I put a candle, I think I have 2 candles on top of it just to hold the papers down. And it's been there so long that I forget that there's papers there. I just kind of see the candles. And so like just like the chair or the treadmill that we have in our bedroom that all our clothes are hung on, like we forget that there's something under there. We're just like, oh yeah, that's where I'm gonna put those jeans that like I only wear them for like an hour and they're not like dirty, but I'm probably gonna wear them again like in a couple days, or like that sweater or whatever it is for you. So I feel like it's this part of you that is like, I have to get engaged, I have to get married, I have to find a partner, I have to be Mr. or Mrs. somebody. Like that part of you is the chair that's got the clothes on it that you haven't, like you don't really notice, right? That you forget there's a chair there. You're just going through the motions of like putting your clothes on there or taking your clothes off of there and putting them away. But it's like your brain has forgotten, like for me, my brain's forgotten there's a pile of papers that need to be like organized and like put away because I need to keep them. And like I just think of like, okay, those candles are there so things are good, right? Those candles are there to hold things down, and that's the important part. No, the important part is there's paperwork that needs to be sorted. So the important thing is that there is this part of you that's running on this old programming of like, I have to get married, I have to get engaged, I have to find my person, like very desperate to be attached to someone else. And right now, like what you're being encouraged to do is to really sit with that part of yourself to figure out like, is this what I actually want? Because I feel like I'm thinking of like a friend that like they were in this time in their life when everybody in their age group, they're younger than me, everyone in their age group was like getting married, and so they felt like they had to get married, and they ended up marrying somebody that like kept a secret from them like the whole time they were together, and they were together for a couple of years, right? And this was like a really big secret. And once they got divorced, my friend, like it was like probably like a year after the divorce, my friend told me that like they thought that they saw the red flags with their partner, and they realized in hindsight that they wanted to get married so badly, because they wanted to have what they thought all the other people around them had, which was happiness through a marriage. Like they wanted that so badly that they overlooked the red flags that they saw in their partner. And I feel like we all do that, right? Where it's like we can be, it can be like rose colored glasses, or just really kind of fixated on wanting the thing that we want, and just deciding that like the consequences aren't as important as gaining the thing. And I think that because this has been part of what you've wanted for so long, the invitation here is to take some time to really kind of look at what the reasons are that you're wanting to find a partner, that you're wanting to get married, that you're wanting to settle down, and just be honest with yourself. Because I feel like this is, kind of not fully being honest, but also we can't face what we can't see. And I think that you have kind of lost sight of why this part of you wanted to get married and get engaged and be kind of this married version of yourself. Like you've lost sight of why you wanted that. And so I feel like there's lots of different reasons, and like you like we can all do whatever we want. And I'm not saying wanting this is wrong or bad. What I'm saying is that like you're being invited to really take a hard look at what partnership really means to you, what commitment really means to you, like what union really means to you, right? Because I think we're in a time when a lot of us, myself included, are like, we idealize what we think relationships should be, and we don't have the most healthy examples of what it looks like to really like work through the hard parts of relationship, right? Like the engagement ring and like the magic surprise proposal and the wedding and like the photos and the cool outfits and like whatever the things are that like you fantasize about when you think about like engagement and marriage. Like all those things are amazing and beautiful, but that's not reality, right? Because like wanting to be with someone in a long-term committed relationship that has like legal ramifications to it is that like maybe, like not saying that like this is what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm just trying to be like kind of bring some realism to the fantasy that like if you, let's say that you're someone that leaves when things get tough, like you can absolutely leave a marriage, but that doesn't mean that you're not legally married. You can move to a different state. You can start dating somebody else. You can try to get married to somebody else, and maybe you can. That's also illegal. So like there's, and I share this because like what you're being invited to look at is the reasons that you want the things that you want. Because like there's nothing wrong with wanting to be like the center of attention during a surprise like engagement surprise proposal, and like wanting to put that on social media and like just wanting to have that life, like wanting to have things that are like Instagrammable or like beautiful surprise moments. Like there's nothing wrong with that. But what is the feeling that you're trying to get from that? You know what I mean? Like, is it that you just want to be so valued, so loved, so special to someone that they are willing to make a public declaration that you were the only one that they want? Because that's a beautiful energy, right? That's an amazing, beautiful energy. Or do you just want some attention on social media? Because if you just want attention on social media, like there's other ways to do it. Like you don't have to get engaged, like there's other ways to do it. And also like if you're looking for someone that deeply loves and values you, is that what a surprise engagement means, right? Because like, I mean, we all know that like social media is not real, right? So like you can have somebody that that also their motivation is to get attention on social media, and so maybe they like fake propose. And so then you've got your Instagrammable moment, but there's no substance to that relationship, right? So I feel like that, like this Seven of Swords in reverse is asking you to look at all of these things, because like the universe wants to give you what is for your best, highest good. And so if you're asking like, send me my partner, I want to get engaged, I want to get married, send me my forever, like send me, I want to be Mr. or Mrs. somebody, and the energy that's behind that isn't attached to like what you think a dream relationship is, like it, when we manifest, like we manifest from a place of emotion, you know, and so we're manifest, like we're vibrating at that level of emotion, and the universe is going to match that. And so if you're not clear on why you want what you want, you're going to get this emotion of like maybe wanting that social media attention, when really like what you actually want is that long-term committed relationship. So I feel like, long story long, there's a conflict here. There's a conflict with like what you think that you want, and there's a conflict between the feelings that you are kind of trying to manifest from. So you're wanting, your brain is wanting this engagement, marriage, surprise, whatever thing, but I think that you're unaware of the emotions that underlie why you want that. And so, yeah, I hope that's clear. And I hope that was gentle. And I hope you don't feel judged, because I'm not here to judge you. Finally, we've got the future card. So let's see what your future is with love. Oh, okay. So we've got this Eight of Cups. In the upright, this is a card of leaving things behind. In the reverse, I feel like it's the opposite. It's an energy of staying. And so I feel like for you, the future of love that is coming for you is someone that wants to stay, and someone that is like so proud to be with you, someone that's so proud of you, like of all the things that you like have done. I'm feeling like this could be somebody that knows you, but not in a romantic context, because I'm so proud of who you've become. Like it makes me feel like they've seen how far you've come. So this could be either potentially somebody that like, you know, that like you don't have a romantic connection with, or someone that like comes into your life, and because they stay and they're with you for such a long period of time, like they can see like the growth and the changes that are happening in you, and they can see like the things you're doing to really build your dream life, you know. And this like I feel like long term can be like 6 months, right? Because like when we think about, like if you think about whenever you're watching this, if you think about 6 months ago, like that feels like such a long time ago, right? Like it was a whole different season. It might have been a different calendar year, depending on when you're watching this. But there are things that, you know, have probably changed a lot for you. Like there might be habits that like you no longer partake in because you were doing the work, or you know, maybe you probably completed lots of things that you haven't taken stock of. And so like this future love that's coming towards you, like there's somebody that like wants to stay. If you have this kind of fear around like nobody ever stays, or like kind of abandonment stuff, or that like almost feeling like you're not good enough because nobody stays, like this person is bringing healing in for that. But also like this is a very, very slow, it's a slow burn, which, and I don't mean burn like negative, like you're not getting burnt by them. Like this is a very like slow, long burning flame, you know. And so this is like this is not like those, have you ever seen those like those lighters that like they're so hot they burn like blue, and like you can't like keep them lit for very long because like the actual lighter gets like too hot, where it's like this really intense flame but it only lasts a really short period of time. This is the opposite, where instead of it being like this kind of fling and there's like chemistry and passion like in the first couple weeks and then it like dies out, like this is a very slow burn that builds up, which is why I feel like For some of you, this is someone that you already know, that you trust. And so it is, even though there's this energy of like wanting to rush into like the, engagement, marriage, like becoming a Mr. or Mrs. someone, that kind of hurried energy, like this future relationship that's coming towards you, this future person that's coming towards you, it's a very slow build, either because you've resolved this, because you realized, like, you did the work to figure out what emotion you want to feel in that long-term relationship, or it's, you're comfortable with the slowness of it because you know the person and like you trust them. And for those of you that know this person, like, you didn't see this coming, and it's really kind of adorable. For those of you that don't know this person, like, it feels like the slowness is a little clunky and awkward for you in the beginning, because you have a lot of expectations for how things should go. And I feel like this person is bringing like a lot of healing to you, that like, I'm not moving fast, but I'm also not going anywhere. So if it's almost like they have this really logical approach of like, if you're in a hurry to get to be with me, you're already with me. And like, the being part is what's hard for you, which is hard for a lot of us. But yeah, just really, really beautiful. Okay, so then I have these last two cards, which are encouragement messages. So we've got peace again. My gosh, I love that. I feel like it's really positive with this kind of frantic. This feels a little bit, not frantic, but it feels like like the rabbit from Alice in Wonderland. Like, I'm late for a very important date. And you might be someone that's a little bit anxious, so I get that. Or you might be someone that's always running late, like me. I get it. And then we've got this Sacred Self card. It says, I know I am love. Change me, divine beloved, into one who knows my true worth in every moment. Let me experience that I am love. My own sacred self will always draw kindred spirits. Yeah, I feel like this is definitely attached to this future connection where, like I said, like, this person just is so proud to watch you live your life, like to watch you do the things to create and cultivate this life that you've always wanted for yourself, which is like, just who doesn't want to be with someone that is like proud of them? It's lovely. So group number 1, this has been your past, present, future love reading. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, I would love it if you would like and or subscribe. And most of all, I just want to say thank you so much for letting me read cards for you and for hanging out with me. And I will see you later. Bye. Hello, group number 2. So if you chose this Morganite card, this is your reading. So I have 2 oracle messages of just encouragement for my singles that we'll look at the end. And then I've got your past, present, and future love messages. So let's look at your past love message. Okay. So we've got this 2 of Swords and denial. Let's see. Failure to accept a situation, unhealthy cycles, or addictions. With this 2 of Swords, we have someone that's torn between 2 options, torn between 2 lovers. It feels like she's doing a little peeking. Like, it looks like this eye is kind of peeking out from under that blindfold. Like, she is pretending that she doesn't see what's happening, but she does. And I feel like that's definitely tied into this denial. So I feel like in the past, you might have had 2 people that were fighting over you. And you pretended like you didn't realize that was happening, but you did know that it was happening. And I think it left you by yourself. Either you were in denial that you had 2 competing suitors. You were in denial that you could date more than one person, because I feel like lots of people can, and some of us cannot. And it also could have been that you picked the wrong one. Like, you picked one of them, and then that was, I don't want to say the wrong one. Like this was a whole learning lesson for you, but it feels like the one that you picked, they ended up leaving, or didn't it didn't work out the way that you thought it would. And there's a part of you that's like, oh, I should have picked the other one, and just kind of, reminiscing, daydreaming. And I don't feel like either of them were the one that you were supposed to be with. So the part of you that is kind of in this cycle of like, oh, I should have picked the other one, or I should have tried harder. There's a lot of shoulding. Like there's a lot of like, oh, I should have done this, or I should have done that. There could just be like a lot of daydreaming about the past. But I feel like that shoulding, that daydreaming, the what ifing, like that's the unhealthy cycle that like you needed to break. That, there's like a really strong tie to, nostalgia, like looking fondly back on the past and like really feeling like, oh, this feels hard. What if that was the best that, like, what if that was the relationship that was supposed to be my forever? Like, what if that was the best relationship that I'll ever have? Like, and I feel like the denial is actually around like that you can love again, that like this wasn't it, and for those of you that didn't have two suitors, there was two, you were pulled between two different things. And for some of you, it almost feels like this is like a version of you, like this is like almost like the part of the observer part of yourself, that is kind of maybe has hindsight, or like your higher self, or like your wise self, that's able to kind of detach and look at things from the outside. And like there was someone that you had conflict with, and you might have been like trying to make it work and trying to make it work and trying to like bend and fold and contort yourself, and whatever you did to try to hang on to them or try to make it work, like it didn't work because that wasn't where you were supposed to be. And that might be what you're in denial about too, that like being in denial that like divine timing is accurate, that like this thing, this relationship, this connection, even if it's more than one, it ended when it needed to end, and there's nothing that you could have done to like make it not end. It wasn't meant to be long term. It wasn't your forever. So that's your past message. Let's look at your present love message. Ooh, Empress and heartbroken. Okay, deeply hurt, sad, separation, the breakup, feeling lost, grieving, mourning. Okay, so you might have just been through this, or you might have just worked through some of the denial stuff you had around it. The Empress is definitely a card of nurturing, of self-care, of self-love. We only see one person here, which is the Empress, and she's in a very kind of luxurious spot, right? She's holding up this, I don't know what this is, but honestly, I'm a BTS fan, so this looks like an army bomb to me. Which is like, if you're not a BTS fan, they have like a little light that you can hold up at concerts. I've never been to one, but one day when they all come back from the military. But she's holding up this light, which like, I have no idea what this is. I feel like I need to go back and look at the guidebook. I'm perplexed. So we'll pretend it's like a scepter, because the Empress is really kind of like a queen. She's in nature, like this abundance of this field. There's like all these different kinds. That's like a fruit tree, and like, I don't know, maybe evergreen trees, and there's a river, waterfall, and a couch, and baby swans. Like, what is she has like all the things. And so I feel like right now you're just in this period of like really providing yourself with like so much luxuriance. And so that looks different for everybody, right? That for some people, like luxuriance can be like paying a bunch of money to have a spa day, or luxuriance can be like buying a caftan and just like wearing that around the house, even though you're like 20 and like that's, caftans are usually things that like older women wear, but I feel like they're becoming very popular. If you don't know what one is, then you should Google it. I feel like that's on my list of things to get myself, because summer's coming and it's very, very hot in North Carolina. And I wouldn't wear it outside my house, but who doesn't like to be cool and comfy? For other people, like, luxuriance can be time, like just taking the time to do the things that you enjoy, like doing crazy nails for a couple hours because you can do whatever you want with your own time, because you are an independent, autonomous person that is focused on loving yourself right now, caring for yourself right now. This heartbreak card, like I said, it feels like you may have recently become single, or you may have had some old feelings, like the feelings of this. They might have come back up, and you might be going through like the grieving or mourning process. And it feels to me, I feel like whenever old stuff comes back to the, like, kind of comes to the surface, sometimes it feels like it comes out of nowhere, which is a little uncomfortable. But then other times, like not other times, but like really all the times in the last couple years that I've realized is that old stuff, old hurt comes up because it needs to come out. And that like when we haven't learned how to feel our feelings, when we haven't learned how to be with our emotions, like when we haven't learned to give ourselves like time and space to just let the tears or the anger or the frustration or the fear or whatever the emotions are for you come through, like they can't come out, so it's like, I mean, it's really emotional purging, right? That like these old feelings that have been suppressed are like food poisoning. And there's a couple ways that it can come out, but until you get that stuff out of your system that is causing the food poisoning, like you're gonna continue to feel sick, right? Use your imagination. I know it's gross, but it feels like, it feels like the majority of you have been like, this hurt that's coming up is from a while ago, and that it just needs to come up to come out because it needs to clear space, right? It could be the time of year that it is. It could be that like you've done a lot of healing and growth, and like your energetic body is like, we got to get rid of this. Like this doesn't fit, or it doesn't resonate. It could be that you had this kind of aha moment about like, oh wow, I'm like really beating myself up about how things that I can't control didn't work out. And I'm really being hard on myself in thinking that like no one else will ever want to like be in a relationship with me or love me. Like that's not realistic. Like you have lots of people around you that love you and care about you. And I think for some of you it's like, yeah, like that's different than like romantic love. Not really. I think that like if you are someone that has had like successful like friendships, successful like work relationships, like successful like long-term anything, even if it's like you've been going to the same hairstylist for years, and like there's been times that things were a little crazy, they gave you that one weird haircut or dye job and you guys like worked through it and it's fine and now you laugh about it. Like any kind of long-term relationship that you have had with someone where there's been conflict that you worked through, like that's all evidence that you can have that in a romantic relationship. If you've had it in a friendship, work relationship, like acquaintances, like even like family, like that's all evidence that you can have successful, long-term, healthy love relationships, romantic partnerships. So in your face. Sorry. I'm just trying to you get what I'm saying. Anyway, okay, so that's the current energy that like you're doing a lot of healing, a lot of nurturing, a lot of self-care, which is lovely and perfect. If you're watching this in real time, we're in a Mercury retrograde for maybe like another week and a half. So this is great time to just slow down, reflect, release, relax, rewind, any of the RE words. Like this is a good time to do that, reevaluate. So let's look at your future love message. Okay, Four of Swords, and I wish I could feel your body close to my. Ooh, spicy. Um, Sorry, I was like, I wonder if she's gonna climb on top of that guy. Okay, this is not an 18 plus reading. We will not go there. Use your imagination, which you probably already are. Four of Swords is a card of rest. Four of Swords is also a card of death. You know, that this person isn't dead. They're laying on top of this coffin. They look like they might be dead, but they're not. And so a little death, in our life. I'm sorry. I don't know if you're familiar with this, but the literal translation for, like, I don't know what the word is in French, but like the French word for orgasm, when it's translated into English, the literal translation is little death, like tiny death. So that's why I'm cackling in this 18 plus. Okay, so you might have a hookup in your future if you were into that. You might be coming into connection with someone that you have amazing chemistry with, that like you have this really great physical relationship with, and that like it's just really enjoyable, and like you both mutually enjoy this physical relationship. This I feel like this could come after like you go through kind of like a little death, a little like a transformation that's not, because when we think about like the death card, that's obviously like a big transformation, right? Because like when someone passes away, like that's the end of their existence in this physical form. Depending on what you believe, that could be the big end. If you believe in reincarnation, like that's the end of this experience that they had in that vessel on this planet at this time. They might come back somewhere else. Like I don't know how reincarnation works, because I don't remember I don't remember that whole thing of like when I left last time and when I came back here, but that's what I believe. I believe in reincarnation. And I also believe that we can reincarnate into things besides people. But that's death is a big death. So this is a small death. And so when I say a small death, like what that means is this could be something as tangible as maybe you make a commitment to stop smoking. And that's for some people, I feel like that's a big change, right? Or even like to quit sugar, or like quit recreational drugs or quit drinking. Like those seem like something small, but it's actually like pretty significant. It doesn't change your whole life, but it's going to change a significant part of it, right? Like if you quit smoking, drinking, using recreational drugs, like you're probably going to have more money, and that can cause like big ripple effects in your life. Like maybe you pay off some debt with that extra money. Because I don't know how much drugs are, but I do know that cigarettes are expensive. Alcohol is expensive. What's not expensive right now? Okay. Anyway, this could be a small, like this small death could be like a career change. This could be ending the way that you used to do something, or the way that you used to approach something, or for me, I feel like one like personal example of this small death thing, that's something that's been happening for me, is that like I think I've shared this before. Like I was in the military for 20 years. So there was a lot of tattoos that I couldn't have, right? Couldn't have my hands tattooed. So like once I retired, I started getting tattoos, and so that's been this thing that I at first I was really worried, and it was like, well, how am I going to get a job with with like these hand tattoos? And now I'm like, I don't really want to have a I don't ever want to work a traditional job again. Like I don't want to have to go to a job where I have to be there from like 9 to 5. Like obviously like I'm going to work cuz we all have to work. Like we need money to pay our bills, but I don't want to work in a place that has like a tattoo policy. And so with like the rise of like freelancing and work from home jobs, that's not really something I have to worry about, right? So it was like for a long time, kind of worrying about like, oh gosh, like how do I express myself in this really creative, authentic way that I've been dreaming about for decades and make sure I can pay my bills, pay my mortgage, right? And so, where we are now in the world, like it doesn't really matter if I have tattoos. I can find a job, like I'm gonna be fine. And so that for me is this little death where I've gone from like, oh gosh, is it okay if I do this? Dear society, is it okay if I get these tattoos to, okay, these are the tattoos that I really want to start getting, and getting my hands done and like getting other things like finding, an artist that can like offer the style that I like. Cause I can't go to Texas every time I want to get tattooed because that's a little expensive and time consuming. So this little death that's happening, like you're going to go through kind of something that is significant, that like has a really huge impact on your life, but it doesn't feel like this like massive thing like to the outside world, right? Like people in the outside world aren't going to be like, oh, did you quit smoking 2 weeks ago? Because you are glowing, you smell like a non-smoker. Like nobody's gonna say those things, right? Just like if you like, let's say you decide to do like fitness or like nutrition or changing something like that, like that when we do things for our own internal benefit, like because it feels good to us, not because we're like hoping that somebody's like, oh my god, you lost 50 pounds and you look like a supermodel. When we are doing things for our own internal benefit, I feel like that is very much what that like Four of Swords, like little death is like, where it, like the internal change is huge for us, but people on the outside don't see it, right? Like I since I've gotten my hands tattooed, nobody's come up to me and said, hey, did you release some fear around like programming that you received? Yeah, I can see it on you. I can see it looks like a big flower. No, nobody says that. Even the people that are close to me, if I don't share that with them, right? So okay, so that is the future of what's coming for you. Like there is someone that is coming, that like a very peaceful connection that's coming in after or around the time you have your little death. And so it could be just a physical relationship, or it could be someone that you have a relationship with where like the physical chemistry is amazing. And like I feel like there's a lot of like common piece to this, right? Because we see, this person, I feel like this is you, like the person getting the reading, which I don't know why I said that. You know who you are. Like, you know what we're doing right now. Okay. So this is you, and there's someone that is approaching you with like very pure intention. So if this is someone that like wants to have just a physical relationship with you, they're going to tell you that. Like they're going to be very like upfront and honest about it. And you can decide if that's what you want or you don't want, because this is not the only option, like this is not, if this doesn't align for you, let's say that you are someone that is celibate or you're asexual, but you're still looking for like romantic partnership. Like if this physical, offer, invitation does not feel right for you, like then don't accept it and something else will come along. I promise you. If you're interested, like whatever this person is bringing, whether it's like an actual relationship where there's like a long-term committed relationship where there's amazing chemistry, or just like a physical relationship, or even like something casual, like they're going to be very upfront and honest and direct with you. And they're very, I feel like they're very kind about it. They're not gonna, you know, especially if this is like someone that's looking just for like a physical relationship, they're not gonna be like, hey, I'm skeezy. Like, they're not gonna be like weird, right? I feel like they're gonna be very direct, like, they, might say something like, I would like to share something with you, but I don't want to offend you. And if you are not interested, like, it's totally okay. Just let me know. And like, I like, I just want to share this. And if you're not interested, that's okay. And like, we will just go our separate ways. Like, they're very aware, right? That, because when we look at her, she's approaching him very quietly, right? She understands that he's like resting. And with this white flower, I feel like this is really like the symbol of peace. Also, in the traditional death card, death has a white flower on his flag, which is why I feel like this is a nod to this being like a little death. But this person that's coming towards you, like, they're very aware of like, they just have a healthy sense of awareness, right? That like, if they're just wanting that physical relationship, they're very aware that not everybody wants that, or they're very aware that like it can be like an uncomfortable conversation to have with someone that like you don't really know, that like maybe is vibing with you, maybe isn't, and just, I just feel like there's a lot of kind confidence with this person, which I like. They're comfortable with the approach. They have their intentions are very pure and direct, and they're very open about them, but they're also like not pushy. So it's almost like, she's offering this flower, but she's being very gentle and quiet, not to disturb him. And it's almost like she's waiting, like, here you go, I have this for you. And, we get this, there's this little smile there. So it's like, you're fake sleeping, and I'll just wait here till you wake up so I can offer this to you, so you can see that I am offering it to you, which I love, which is really just lovely. For some of you, you might be doing the offering, because we have the Empress here, which very much looks like this person. So this is interesting. So there's a lot of energy coming in. So there might be someone that like you want to feel close to. This is a new person. Like, this feels like a new person. Like, maybe you see someone, maybe you're on the apps, maybe you're just out and about in the world, maybe you're at the gym. I don't know where people meet people, but maybe you're out and about in the world and you see someone and you're like, wow, I want to hug them. In more than a friendly way. Or, maybe you're like, I'm gonna be bold, and I'm gonna be direct, and I'm just gonna approach this person that I find really attractive and just say, hi, I don't know if you're single, but I think you're really attractive, and I would love to get a coffee with you and see if like maybe we could have a connection. And if you're not single, that's totally okay. But I feel like they are. So if there's someone that you want to approach, shoot your shot. For others of you, there's going to be somebody that's approaching you. Okay, so I think we've rambled on about that long enough. That was fun. So let's look at your 2 encouraging messages. Strength is the first one. I like that. And this next one is beauty. So I am a spark of divinity. Yes, you are. Change me, divine beloved, into one who knows without question my own beauty, worthiness, and desirability. Let me remember constantly who I am, love itself in a temporary human form. Weren't we just talking about reincarnation? What? I like when sources like, hey, finger guns. No, God, source spirit doesn't do that, but you know what I'm saying. I love when like there's a little, when it gets tied together. So I feel like this beauty card is very much tied to where you are right now, that you are in this stage, in this phase, in this period of learning, that you are both strong and like just divinely beautiful, and just really, you are divine love itself, and that you're magical. And yeah, and that you're just, I don't know, you're just amazing. So just wanted to tell you that. So group number 2, this has been your past, present, and future love reading. I would love it if you would like and subscribe. If this is your first time watching a video with me, thank you so much for hanging out. If you have been with me before, thank you for coming back. And most of all, thank you so much for letting me read your cards. And I will see you guys next time. Bye. Hello, group number 3. So if you chose this Aya Light card, this is your past, present, and future love reading. So I have 2 oracle cards for encouragement that we'll look at the end. And then I've got your past, present, and future love messages. You were the only group that 2 future messages came out. And excuse me, I was trying to just pull one card for everybody, and usually like when more than one comes out, I'll try to figure out like, okay, which which one is it supposed to be? And so with these 2, it kind of felt like, you know, when like if you've ever had to like pick between 2 things, like you kind of are looking at them and it's like, okay, do I like this one or this one? And so I feel like the energy of the cards looking at me, this is so weird and random, is like if you had 2 dogs and somebody was like, pick your favorite one, and they're like both looking at you like, is it me? No, is it him? Is it me? So I feel like these 2 cards they were both giving me energetic puppy dog eyes of like, well, don't put me back. Like, well, I want to go. And so I was like, you know what, fine. You'll get 2. So you're getting 2 future love messages. So I'm excited to see what they are. Part of me feels like they might be 2 people coming in, but we'll see. We'll see. I don't look at these before I read them because it's more fun if we get to see them together in real time. So let's look at your past love message. So we've got this accelerated motion and divine timing. Oh, sorry, my hands are. It's hot here today. My hands are sweaty. Sorry, TMI. Divine timing. Everything has a higher purpose. Okay, so in the past, you had a connection that happened really quickly, but it ended really quickly. Or it could have been that like you were in a relationship that you thought was stable and then it just ended really quickly, kind of out of nowhere. So I'm feeling like there's some of you that in the past, it was like this kind of fireworks, like explosion connection where it was like, ooh, and then it like fizzled out. And then for others of you, it feels like there was a connection that you thought was going to last for a long time. It might have been a long-term relationship and it just ended really quickly. It feels like for you, this ending kind of came out of nowhere. And so with this divine timing card, like whichever situation you were in, like the ending was part of divine timing that, you know, all things happen for our highest good. And that doesn't mean that we have to like it. There's lots of things I feel like that have happened for me and my friends and people that I know that in hindsight, like we knew it was for our best, highest good. But in the moment, it's like, this fucking blows. Like, this is terrible. Like, what? How is this for my best, highest good? Because I don't like it. And everything for my best, highest good should be enjoyable, which is not how life works, in case you didn't know that, but which I'm sure you did. But yeah, this past relationship, like it ended really quickly. And so if you are feeling like you don't understand why it ended, or like it just kind of came out of nowhere that it ended, this is... I don't know why I'm having trouble saying this. I think because I feel like sometimes it's a little bit hard to read for other people that aren't watching, because I feel like, is this like a privacy issue, or am I overthinking this, or like, what does it mean to be an ethical tarot reader? I don't know. But the feeling that I get for why it ended so suddenly is because they made a choice, like within themselves, to go on a journey that like separated them from you. And this could be something tangible, right? Where maybe like this person that you were in a relationship was like, hey, I'm taking a job overseas. And you're like, what? But I can't move. And they're like, I know. And it's like, oh, dang. Or this could be something kind of energetic where it feels almost like their soul is like, hey, we want to experience this in this lifetime. And it's like, oh yeah, here's my opportunity. And for some of you, like it to me, it feels like your energy is saying that the choice they made was not a good one. That like they chose to follow kind of a darker path, like whatever that means for you, but it's something that like they didn't ask you to go with them, but if they would have asked you, you would have had to say no. So, and I don't feel like in real time there was even a conversation, right? I think it feels like what happened was that like you kind of found out they were doing something and it was like this is not good, this is not okay, you can't do this. And they decided like instead of trying to like work through this, I'm just going to leave because I want to keep doing whatever that is. And so I realize that's vague, but it can apply to a lot of different things. I think also like that kind of privacy thing is coming up. So for some of you, like if you keep tabs on this past person, like like you know what they're in right now. And I feel like you know why I'm not saying it. So yeah. Let's move on to your present love message. Spiritual strength. Okay. Interesting. We have the 8 and then the 9. And then we've got golden mirror. Self-absorbed, narcissist, one-sided relationship, love bombing. Okay. This is interesting. Some of you, okay, I'm just going to say it because it's coming up really loud. If this past situation was with someone that was actively in addiction, it feels like they are coming back. For others of you, and I say that because of this, like the love bombing, like for those of you that were with someone that was actively in addiction, like they are possibly trying to come back right now. They might be around you right now. And the love bombing is for the purpose of getting things that they need from you for the support of their addiction. And I feel like that's a really harsh message. Like it feels kind of shitty and it sucks. And I'm sorry if that resonates. But also, this spiritual strength card, like this situation is growing you, and that like I feel like you're going to say no, like you're not willing or able to support them with their addiction, and that there was a time in the relationship with them where you could not have ever imagined telling them no, and you're having to tell them no right now. And so if you are in that situation, like I just want to remind you that like that is a sign of your spiritual strength. That is a sign of like how deeply you love and care for yourself, that you are making a boundary and you're pushing away the thing that you know has the potential to cause so much harm in your life, in juxtaposition to really wanting to help someone that you loved so deeply for a long time. For others of you, if your past connection was not with someone that was actively in addiction, there might be somebody new that's coming in, that you're kind of considering, kind of maybe in the talking stage, maybe you've been on a couple dates. They're not my favorite. This golden mirror thing, they're trying to hold up like this mirror to you to show you like, look at how amazing you are, and like, oh my gosh, you're so beautiful, you're so handsome, like you're so funny, everything, like you're so all the things. And like in the beginning, it was like, oh wow, like this person like thinks I'm great and like I really love this, and like, oh, I love the compliment. Who doesn't like compliments? Like, oh, I love the compliments. And it's like you're starting to feel, because this is part of a spiritual journey for you, you're starting to feel the inauthenticity of all of these things they're saying. And like it's kind of making you question yourself, where it's like, will I just like not let myself be happy? Like, what's wrong with me? Like, this person's doing all these things, they're giving me all these things, they're saying all these things, like this is what I thought I wanted. And so if you are wondering if there's something wrong with you, there is not. That is your that's your intuition that's telling you like, this is off, like this doesn't feel as good as we thought it would. And I feel like that's because it's not authentic. It's this like love bombing. It's like this one-sided relationship where it's not that you don't like them, but like they're looking for a one-sided relationship where like essentially they want to pour everything into you now so that they don't have to do anything the rest of the time that you're together. Like, and really like that's kind of what love bombing is, right? Like trying to like gas somebody up so much that they fall for you, and then you just have them and you don't have to do anything else. And like that's it, it's gross, right? I think sometimes people do it intentionally and maliciously. I think other times people do it in response to like an abandonment wound. Like they don't realize that they just want someone to be with them. They're just trying to like create a long lasting connection, and that they've learned that this works. But it's not like how you develop the foundation of a relationship, right? And so like if you were to choose to have a connection or a relationship or something long term with this person that's like kind of love bombing or like just super gassing you up, like you will be carrying the whole relationship yourself, as we see with this like spiritual strength, image. Like this person is holding up the ceiling, and like this is them in real life. This is like their energy, their time, their resources. This green with the heart chakra, like it's gonna be a really hard relationship to keep up, like to maintain, because relationships aren't meant to be one-sided. Like you can't carry a whole relationship, right? So that's the present situation. Let's look at your future situation. So we've got intuition and discontent and boredom. And then we've got, I've always been afraid of this love. Okay. So very interesting. With this intuition card, it's the High Priestess card. Like she's really tuned in, tapped in to the universe, which is what this is. Like she's using her intuition. It feels like for the future love reading for you, I feel like you are someone that has been proactive in your connections. And so this card is telling me like you just need to wait for someone to come to you. And I say that because of this door. There's this bright light behind this door, but the door's closed, right? So it's like there's something that's coming, but we can't see how long it's going to take, but we can tell it's on its way because the light is coming, but we don't know. Like there's no windows here. Like we don't know when they're going to knock at the door, but you're being encouraged, you're being invited. You don't need to, you can do whatever you want, but you're being encouraged, invited to use your intuition, to be very choosy, very picky about who you let in. And you're also learning how to receive, which means you're learning how to wait, which is hard for someone that is used to like taking action in relationships, like being the initiator, taking the initiative. You're being encouraged to just really kind of tune into the universe, your higher source, God, spirit, ancestors, whatever it is that you believe. Excuse me. You're being asked to spend time tuning into that and to just trust and know that someone is coming, but they're coming in their own time. And I think because you're someone that's used to like taking action, this feeling of like discontent and boredom is going to come in. And this is the Four of Cups, you know, and so we've got this beautiful kind of rainbow here, like the chakra balancing, like, and then we've got someone that's facing away from this castle. And so it feels like the future love that's coming in is the love that you've always wanted. And during this time that you're gonna be by yourself, like you're learning that soft love, peaceful love, gentle love, quiet love has always looked like boredom to you. That you thought love was supposed to be like exciting and thrilling and passionate and a little bit crazy. And that like, I think that's why you've never experienced like this love that you've always wanted. Because you're wanting like a really high level, deep, profound love, right? We've got this like blue and green here. We've got the green here, the blue here, blue, this kind of blue almost into like this indigo is the throat chakra and the third eye chakra. The green is the heart. You know, we've got heart here. We've got the blue and the, third eye, throat chakra here. Even with this Iolite card, it's about communication, which is the throat chakra. And so I think that during this time that you are alone, that you're learning to tap in and tune into your intuition, you probably are going to feel bored, because what you've learned is that relationships are like exciting and like that's how you get your excitement. And you might even feel like, well, I just want to go out there and just date or meet someone. And like when you tune into your intuition to ask, you're going to get a no. And like, I'm not sorry. Because what is happening, we have this, you're building your spiritual strength right now, but in this future time, like what you're doing is like you're deprogramming what you thought love was, so that you can, essentially it's like in this time that you're by yourself, that you're really getting tuned in and tapped into source, your spiritual self, like spiritual growth. You're in detention. It's not punishment. The universe doesn't punish us, but you're kind of in detention, and the universe is the teacher that's given you a rag and a bucket and said, I need you to clean every single blackboard in this classroom. So you're going to go and like you wipe the chalk off the chalkboards, but also, or maybe whiteboards. I don't even know. I don't have kids. I don't know what they use in school, but in my brain, it looks like a chalkboard. Could be a whiteboard. You need to erase all the stuff on there, but then you need to clean them. Cause you know how like a chalkboard, like it gets dingy, and even a whiteboard, like you have the little specks of stuff, and then somebody uses like a permanent marker and then you can't get it off. Like you're in this time where you're like in detention, which is you're not getting punished, and the universe is like, I need you to clean all these boards. And what you're doing in this holding pause time is that the universe is having you erase that programming. So those chalkboards, those whiteboards, like all the remnants of that stuff is where your old programming about love is exciting and love is crazy and makeup sex is the point, and like you need another half to complete yourself, like all of this, like, pardon my French, junk that we are taught about like what romantic relationship and partnerships are supposed to bring us. Like you are erasing and removing and deprogramming yourself from that with the support of the universe in love detention. This example's getting out of control. And so the time that you're spending by yourself, like not only are you seeing that like, okay, I have this belief that like relationships are supposed to be exciting, but my idea of excitement is like fighting and makeup sex. That's not exciting to me anymore. Like maybe it was exciting to 21-year-old me. Now me, that's not exciting. So let me erase that. And then let me take this, soap and water mixture and really clean this whole board off so that I can look at what do I want in love. I want some peace. I want some balance with these rainbow colors. I want something stable. I want someone that's not always looking for where the grass is greener, that's focused on focused on the steps they want to take, what they want to do, where they're going. It's someone that's intentional, right? And that once you, not even once you, like as you're doing this work, you're going to know what to look for, because I feel like you're being asked to pause and not to run out the door and find someone, because you're needing to deprogram, but also like you're not waiting forever, right? That I think because of just your energy, like you are an initiator, like you're someone that is very unaffected by rejection, right? That like, I mean, it kind of sucks, but I think for you, it's like, I would I feel like your energy is saying like, I would rather ask and get a no than to like torture myself with wondering like, oh, should I have asked that person if they want to meet for coffee? Like, oh, that would be the worst, like the what ifs. And then there's other people that are like, I'm so much more comfortable daydreaming about the what ifs than getting rejected, because that would crush me. That's not you. You're like, well, I'd rather know than not know. And if they say no, then like, that's okay. I tried. Like I can give myself credit for that. And I think that's really like beautiful and healthy. And it comes from that spiritual strength you're building right now. But yeah, it's this love that your heart and your soul really want, and you really want, that's being really blocked around like the old programming of what you were taught love should be, or that like what love is that it's really not. Like it's coming for you. You're still cooking. You're still cooking. You're still doing the work and the deprogramming, and there's nothing wrong with that. So let's look at your last two cards. So these are the two encouragement cards. Oh, so we have flow. Put that in there. Go with the flow, because I feel like the intuition is very much, sorry, it's probably kind of noisy. Following your intuition is very much like going with the flow. And then we've got this true nature card. I know the eternal. Change me, divine beloved, into one who knows the true nature of our souls. Awaken me to the knowledge of the eternal. Let me know my true self as consciousness. And I feel like this is very much like related to this wisdom card, right? Where it's like and the spiritual strength card, where this is like you in the tangible world. And this is you learning what your kind of spiritual self is, like your high self, your wise self, especially like the blue here. Yeah, and there's a lot of heart chakra, there's a lot of throat chakra, there's a lot of third eye chakra. So I feel like if you want to speed this process up, I would highly recommend working with like some iolite, whether that's getting yourself a piece of iolite or just like looking at it on the internet, reading about it, like tapping into the energy of it. You don't have to get a crystal to tune into the energy of it. You can just learn about it. Like you can, work on, energetically teleporting to it, which sounds crazy, but like, it's really just like you tuning into, like finding out what the energy of iolite is and tuning into like, how do I get myself into that energy, right? Like, let's say for this wisdom card, it's like, okay, how do I tune into like more wisdom? Well, for you, it's going to be wisdom around the heart chakra, the throat chakra, and the third eye chakra. So you can read about those things. You could do meditations on those things. You can wear those colors. You can Google some YouTube videos. There's so much information about the chakras. I also feel like doing some chakra balancing is going to be really helpful for you, whether that's through meditation, whether that's through, for some of you, it's going to be looking at your diet, making sure that you're getting foods in all these colors. You can Google foods that correlate to the chakras as well. For others of you, it's just going to be getting out in nature, getting outside. That might be taking a 5-minute walk, parking farther away from the grocery store, walking so that you're outside a little bit longer before you get there, going actually into nature and taking a walk, going in your backyard, taking your shoes off. Really just being outside near something that's growing, whether that's like grass, a tree, a plant. Yeah, that's going to be helpful for you. So group number 3, this has been your past, present, future love reading. So if you enjoyed it, I would love it if you would like and subscribe. If this is your first time watching one of my videos, I want to say thank you so much for hanging out with me. If you are a returning viewer, thank you for being here. I greatly appreciate it. Most of all, I just want to say thank you for letting me read your cards. And yeah, thanks for hanging out. And I will see you next time. Bye.